Alright, imagine this. A beautiful endless desert, golden sand, rocky mountains, total isolation. The kind of place that looks peaceful, until it becomes a nightmare. This is Revenge 2017, and trust me, this movie is not here to play nice. Welcome back to Movie Recaps Hub Podcast. If you enjoy intense movie stories, survival thrillers, and revenge tales that go absolutely wild, you're in the right place. Now sit back, relax, and let's dive straight into it. The film opens with a wide shot of a massive desert landscape filled with rocky mountains. It's beautiful but also harsh and unforgiving. This area is known as a playground for wealthy desert animal hunters. Not long after, a helicopter arrives, carrying a man named Richard and his girlfriend, Jennifer. They head to Richard's luxurious house, sitting alone in the middle of nowhere. The plan is simple: spend some private time together before Richard's annual hunting trip with his friends. As the pilot is about to leave, he hands Richard some peyote as a welcome gift, a powerful hallucinogenic drug. Inside the house, Richard admires Jennifer, who confidently carries herself in a way that clearly catches male attention. The two spend time together in bed, enjoying their secret affair. Later that day, Richard receives a phone call from a woman. It's his wife. She knows nothing about Jennifer. As far as she's concerned, Richard is only in the desert to hunt. The call goes smoothly, and the lie holds. The next morning, Jennifer walks into the kitchen wearing only her underwear to grab some water. Suddenly, she's startled. Richard's friends have arrived a day earlier than planned. Richard is visibly annoyed. He wanted to keep Jennifer hidden, but now he has no choice. The two friends are Stan and Dimitri. During introductions, it becomes obvious that Stan is immediately interested in Jennifer, almost too interested. As night falls, the group relaxes by the pool, enjoying the desert view. Dimitri uses binoculars and notices the peyote the pilot gave Richard. Richard explains just how dangerous it is, saying even a tiny amount can have extreme effects. He tells a disturbing story about someone who took too much and cut off his own leg without feeling pain. To avoid any problems, Richard tells Jennifer to keep the drug somewhere safe. Instead, curious and intrigued, she hides it inside her necklace. Later that night, Jennifer steps outside and performs a seductive dance. The men are completely captivated. She becomes the center of attention, almost like a showgirl under the desert sky. Stan is especially excited and eagerly joins her when she invites him to dance. The next morning, Jennifer wakes up and is greeted by Stan, who takes her to breakfast. Richard is nowhere to be seen. Stan uses this moment to get closer to her. Jennifer ignores him and returns to her room, but Stan follows her inside. Frustrated, he asks why she's avoiding him when he thought she liked him the night before. Jennifer tells him straight up that he's not her type, even mocking his short stature. Stan is humiliated, angry, and filled with uncontrollable desire. Jennifer becomes terrified. She has no choice but to surrender as Stan assaults her. Dimitri eventually appears at the doorway. He sees what's happening but says nothing. Instead, he walks away, turns on the TV, and increases the volume so he won't hear Jennifer's screams. Hours later, Richard returns home. The silence in the house feels wrong. Stan casually mentions that there's been a small problem with Jennifer. When Richard goes to her room, Jennifer begs him to call the helicopter immediately. She wants to go home. Richard seems to understand exactly what happened. He scolds his friends but does nothing meaningful. When Jennifer wakes up again, she keeps repeating that she wants to leave. Richard tells her his friends will apologize and even offers her a large sum of money to forget everything. Jennifer snaps. She threatens to tell Richard's wife about their affair if the helicopter doesn't come. Richard explodes in anger, terrifying her. She panics and runs away from the house. Richard, Stan, and Dimitri chase after her across the desert. Jennifer eventually reaches a cliff and realizes it's a dead end. The men corner her. Richard suddenly acts remorseful. He begs her to calm down and even calls the pilot, promising that Jennifer will be taken home immediately. Believing she's finally safe, Jennifer relaxes. Then, without warning, Richard pushes her off the cliff. She falls violently and is impaled on a tree branch below. Stan and Dimitri are shocked. They didn't expect Richard to actually kill her. Richard explains that if Jennifer lives, they could all face 15 years in prison. Worse, his affair would be exposed. They decide to return to the house, grab their hunting gear, and come back later to clean up the body. Then they'll continue their trip like nothing happened. But Jennifer is still alive. Impaled, bleeding, and surrounded by ants, she somehow survives. The branch missed her vital organs. Trapped, she notices a lighter she always carries. Using every ounce of strength she has left, she burns the dry shrub holding her in place and escapes, even with the branch still stuck in her stomach. Later, the three men return to clean up the evidence. Jennifer hears their vehicle and hides just in time. When they reach the spot and find her gone, they assume she escaped or was rescued. They search for a way down the cliff, following a trail of blood that leads to a lake. They split up to search. Stan stays behind, clearly afraid. Jennifer, barely conscious, hides underwater, holding her breath as Dimitri rides past on a quad bike. Once he leaves, she emerges and notices Dimitri's rifle nearby. Seeing an opportunity, she confronts him. But it's a trap. The rifle is unloaded. Dimitri calls his friends and decides to torture Jennifer before handing her over. In a desperate moment, Jennifer grabs a knife from his pocket and stabs him, killing him. His body sinks into the lake. She takes his equipment and escapes, but the vehicle runs out of gas. Injured and exhausted, she finds a cave to rest. Inside the cave, Jennifer remembers the narcotics hidden in her necklace. Knowing the effects, she eats them despite the horrible taste. The drug kicks in fast. Hallucinations begin. Her pain disappears. In this state, she performs brutal emergency surgery on herself. She cuts open her abdomen, removes the branch, and cauterizes the wound with a heated tin can. The next day, Richard and Stan find Dimitri's dead body floating in the lake. They dump it and continue searching for Jennifer. Jennifer wakes up transformed, no longer scared, no longer running. Now she's hunting them. Armed with a rifle, she tracks Richard and Stan across the desert. Stan unknowingly reveals his position using a mirror. Barefoot and injured, Jennifer follows him. Stan's vehicle runs out of fuel. Jennifer shoots him, hitting his shoulder. A brutal chase begins. Stan fires back, injuring Jennifer's ear, but she keeps going. Using broken glass and the terrain, Jennifer weakens him. Despite his rage, Stan collapses. Jennifer finally kills the man who assaulted her. She hears Richard's voice over a walkie-talkie and follows it back to the house. Richard, exhausted and terrified, assumes both of his friends are dead. He prepares to flee by helicopter. While cleaning himself, strange noises make him nervous. Then his worst fear becomes reality. Jennifer appears. A violent firefight breaks out inside the house. Richard is shot in the stomach but continues fighting. Blood loss weakens him. Jennifer relentlessly chases him through the house. After a final struggle, Jennifer targets his wound and fires one last shot. Richard is dead. In the end, all three men who abused, betrayed, and tried to kill Jennifer get exactly what they deserve. Covered in blood but still standing, Jennifer walks outside as the sound of a helicopter approaches. Her revenge is complete. And that wraps up Revenge 2017. If you enjoyed this intense recap, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Movie Recaps Hub podcast, and drop a comment telling me what movie you want next. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.